Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life with a Side of Autism. Today, I want to talk about potential. And if you think that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Mary Leonilda. Thank you for joining me at Life with a Side of Autism. As you know, I'm a mom of a 29-year-old with autism. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about potential and the word potential and just some of my experiences. So I guess the point that I really want to make is that potential is unlimited and nobody can really predict somebody's potential. And if you bring your child to see somebody and they kind of act like they have a crystal ball and they can tell you, what your child, maybe won't be able to do in their life, I would say maybe run. I would say that's probably not a person you want to hang with. I don't know. Let me talk about that more. I remember when Bradley was about 13, and he was in the 7th grade, and he had a teacher who was going to be her last year of teaching. She was going to retire. And I don't know if it's so much like this anymore, but back when Bradley was in school, the school district really wanted you to make a decision whether you were on diploma track or on life skills track. They were really starting to ask me those questions, when he was in the 1st grade, and I'm like, I don't know. He's 6. And I just held off, and I would just I wouldn't claim it. I wouldn't declare it. And I just said, I don't know. And they didn't force the issue. I do think sometimes, at least, maybe 5 or so years ago, they were still wanting parents to make that decision right away. And I would tell parents, don't make that decision. He's 6 years old. How do you know what he's going to be like when he's 12? I wouldn't make that decision, because what I have learned is that once you get off the diploma track and are just on the life skills track, it's really hard to get your child back on the diploma track. That's how it used to be. Things might have changed and things might be different in other states, but I just would not declare that. And I remember when they kind of forced the issue again, I'm just I don't know, he's 13. I'm not going to give up on the dream of him getting a high school diploma at 13. And I remember asking his teacher, and she was very kind to him. She was, again, old school and, just kind of a little stricter and regimented, but he needed that. And I remember asking her, do you think Brad will ever graduate from high school? And she said, no, I don't think so. So I just thought about that, and I just thought, what, again, he's 13. I don't know. Well, long story short, Bradley did graduate from high school with a diploma. It did take him longer, but he did it. So I'm so glad at 13 I didn't say, okay, kind of let him tell me what he was going to do. And, my God, we busted our butts to get him that. And every night we were doing homework, and I felt like I was going through junior high and high school again with all the homework and stuff that we had to do. But he did pass the mandatory testing that he had to pass, and he did get a high school diploma. So, I hear parents say, oh, I brought my child to the speech therapist and she said he's probably never going to speak, or she said she could get him to speak. And anytime somebody really predicts something like that, either way, I just don't know, I just feel like people don't have a crystal ball. And so I guess if I wouldn't want my child to work with somebody that didn't think that they were capable of something, but then again, I would be hesitant to work with somebody who could promise me something. And again, that is kind of against some ethical codes to promise oh, come to me and I'll get your child talking. I think with our kids with autism that our job is just to give them every opportunity to meet their fullest potential, whatever it is. And so, whether graduated high school or didn't, I guess I still gave Bradley the opportunity to, and he did. But even if he didn't, that would have been okay. At least I would have, known, I gave him that opportunity. And sure, I know that there's definitely some kids, by the time they're 12, we know, okay, this child is 12, nonverbal. Chances are he's not going to be a talker. That's okay. Chances are he's not going to graduate. This kid would be a better candidate for a life skills track. He's not going to be able to actually get a diploma. And, I think when we know that that's fine, but I think when our kids are really young or they're still kind of in the gray area where we don't know, we just really need to just give them the opportunity and see where they're going to go. And I think that's just true with all children, you know. I heard Oprah Winfrey speak over the weekend and on Saturday, and she was just a great speaker. And just one of the things that she said that actually brought tears to my eyes was she was talking about that her grandma was a maid, and her grandmother's dream for Oprah was that someday she'd grow up and she would be a maid, and she'd work in a nice air-conditioned and heated house and work for a nice family, you know, and have a good job. And, you know, that is an honest living, and it's a good job to have. People who are in the service industry, the work that they do is valuable and important and needed. But Oprah was saying when she was getting a little bit successful and she'd come back to her hometown, you know, and she'd have maybe a nice handbag or nice shoes, that people would say, who does she think she is? You know, like, oh, look at her, like she thinks she's all that. And that it was just made me so sad to think that there are people out there, you know, and probably more so women than men, that are told that aren't told that they can do anything that they want to do. And I know me growing up, I was told I could do anything I wanted to do. I could be the president. And, you know, I always grew up thinking I can do anything I want to do. And just to hear that, like somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who look at all she's accomplished and her full potential, she wasn't told that growing up. She was told, you can grow up and be a maid, just like, you know, like grandma. And so that just made me sad, just to think that not all kids aren't given the opportunity sometimes. Like they're told this is as far as you'll go. And then when she would go back, even people in her own community, instead of congratulating her, they would, you know, think that she was being stuck up or something for being successful, you know, for leveling up and, you know, rising above and living to her full potential. So it just got me thinking kind of about, you know, just Brad and our kids with autism, and just about potential, and how that's just our jobs. We need just to, you know, give them every opportunity to live up to their full potential. And whether it's just, you know, maybe, like, again, they're not a talker, but we can teach them signs or how to use a communication device, or, you know, how to go and get their own bottle of water out of the refrigerator, or if it is going to college, whatever it is, you know, just giving them those opportunities and not cocooning them so much, because things are uncomfortable sometimes, you know, not like, oh, they don't have to do this, or, oh, I don't make them do this, or, oh, they don't like loud noises, so they never have to do this, or, you know, they don't like restaurants, so they don't ever have to go out. But pushing them, just like you would a typical child, you know, just pushing them to try new things and be the best version of themselves that they can be, whatever it is. So I really enjoyed hearing Oprah speak. She was so just inspirational, just kind of listening to where she came from and how much she's accomplished. And, you know, she's just an amazing person, but was told that she could only be this amazing. And said, you know, she's this amazing, but still being able to do that without people kind of, you know, maybe cheering her on and helping her out as much as she, you know, probably deserved, all people deserve. So, oh, let me just share one story. So typically in the autism field, or I guess more in the speech therapy field, you know, if a child is not verbal by the time they're like 5 or 6, we probably will think, you know, that there's a good chance this child is going to remain nonverbal. And, you know, I worked with a child one time who was like nonverbal till he was about 10. And at 10, he started imitating sounds and words. And he's a talker now. And it just took him a little bit longer, but he did it. And his parents, you know, still put him in speech therapy and still gave him that opportunity. And maybe if they had shut him down at 5 or 6, where kind of statistically, you know, some of that stuff is seen, he wouldn't have had the opportunity, or he, you know, it wouldn't have happened. So I guess I've seen it in my own life. So thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me chat about my thoughts on potential. I'd love to hear your ideas, your thoughts on it. Any experiences you've had, please put them below. You know, have you seen somebody go above and reach potential that other people didn't see? Like, share those stories. I'd love to see them. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow my channel, so I would appreciate that. And if you like this video, please share it with a friend and press like. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.